Let's start it with this news. This came out. Now, look, it had been rumored over the weekend, so we didn't talk about it yesterday, but it kind of became official yesterday. Virginia Tech hired James Franklin.
They did.
He will have his press conference during our show, so we're efforting a Virginia Tech guest and their press conference going on, so we're going to have to push that with a guest. But I'm very curious. Franklin said in a statement, "I'm honored and humbled to join the Hokie family. My vision is simple, to restore unmatched excellence, to build something that lasts, and to serve this university, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and our amazing fan base with honor, integrity, and passion. I look forward to getting to work with our players and our staff and the entire Virginia Tech community." A part of this hire, news-wise, coming from ESPN, was that his buyout from Penn State, which is around $49 million, was actually renegotiated due to this contract down to $9 million. So the Nittany Lions get off $40 million of the buyout money, and Franklin is now the Virginia Tech head coach.
Yeah, the offset language in the deal always had that in there of if he is going to go get another coaching job, that then it offsets the amount of money that Penn State would owe him. And he had the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm just going to kind of hang around. I'll pretend to look for jobs, but you're going to pay me the full amount or keep coaching. He was always the kind of guy that you knew was going to jump right into it. It was just a matter of where. And I give both sides a lot of credit here because I think it's a perfect fit. I think you got Virginia Tech being aggressive in a moment where their program is down, but still proud historically, and realizing here is a coach who was established, here is a coach who has won everywhere he's gone, here is a coach who is a good recruiter considering the circumstances that he was in, and he's going to be a candidate at a lot of these jobs. Like, you telling me Arkansas doesn't want to hire James Franklin? Who the hell is Arkansas going to hire to be their next head coach? So you weren't the only school that was going after him. It was going to be a competitive market, and I think they get a massive leg up getting the deal done now. National Signing Day, the first one is in a couple of weeks, so I don't know how prepared they'll be for that. But just to have everything in order and ready to go by the time that portal opens up in January and then you start building your roster for next year, give them a ton of credit. I don't know how long it's going to take LSU. I don't know how long it's going to take Florida, or you go through the list of all these other openings that currently exist. I like getting it done now, knowing where you're at while the season is still underway, and now we see where he can take them.
Yeah, we figured that we'd start to see some of this right now. Like, I don't know where Penn State's going to go. There's real intel. They may go the James Madison coach. That's kind of just rumor mill stuff right now. You said you had hot board.
Eli Drinkwitz is still pretty high on their hot board of lists.
Of Penn State?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So we'll see where Penn State ends up going, but making the hire as soon as you can for recruiting purposes. Franklin had, I think I watched the Virginia Tech podcast yesterday just to see what they said, and one note that they mentioned was 5 decommits once Franklin was fired from Penn State.
I think the list is even growing. I think it was immediately there were 5, and I think the list is bigger than that now.
So add like probably half or more of those kids into Virginia Tech because you just assume that's the way this goes.
Yeah.
So an important note here on Virginia Tech. I don't disagree with anything you said. I think this is – I don't know if you could have had a better hire. And I understand how people feel about James Franklin. An important note, after they fired Brent Pry, who coincidentally was his defensive coordinator.
Yes, he was.
Pry gets fired pretty early. Virginia Tech's Board of Visitors passed a plan to add $229 million to the athletics budget over the next 4 years. This is going to inject so much life into that institution, a once very proud institution, one of the best pregame entrances in the entire sport, a fan base that's rabid and hungry to be relevant again. And here, do me a big favor here, Dirt. So they add this money. James Franklin's record, I think, speaks for itself, but I know how people feel about James Franklin. Could you do me a favor and tell me how many ACC teams, I'm looking here, are in the top 10? I see 0, Bob. What's James Franklin's big problem?
He can't beat top 10 teams.
Okay, so look, Brent Key, you're good. Jeff Brom, you're good. Yeah. Cristobal's going to recruit and get talent. What's his problem? Oh, he can't win on the road. I think this is a slam dunk for Virginia Tech. You got a proven coach, a proven culture builder, a guy that I genuinely think does and will care about the community and the fan base.
Oh, for sure. He's got that track record
and a
everywhere
guy
he's
who
been.
Isn't necessarily looking to jump again.
No. I think he wants to be there for as long as he was at Penn State.
I think he wants this to be his last job.
I think he likes stability is what we learn about Franklin. He
you have a rabid
State.
Fan base that is appreciative if that program starts playing meaningful games frequently.
If he just does the James Franklin thing, he's a hero there. If you just get him back to 9, 10 wins.
And if he just does that, as you mentioned, he should have an opportunity to compete for ACC titles.
Yes.
Almost every single season. I mean, the thing about him that I understand the top 10, top 5 stuff. And look, there's a lot of truth to that, right? The record speaks for itself. You're also talking about when you go up against Ohio State.
That doesn't
and
exist
Michigan
in the ACC.
and Oregon. And that doesn't exist in that conference right
not
now.
right now.
So, look, I have a lot of respect for some of those coaches. Lashley, another one that I omitted, right? They're good coaches. But right now, those programs are not showing that they're truly next level the way some of the Big Ten teams are.
Yep.
Some of the SEC teams are. And so if you're largely escaping that and you're staying in that conference, this is I would be so ecstatic today as a Virginia Tech fan. They have become so irrelevant in that sport, and that's sad because all of us, I think, at different points saw how relevant they were.
Yep.
They were talking on this podcast about this. Yeah, I would expect the expectation to be that we go 6-6. And I'm like, oh, if that's your expectation,
he'll do that, baby. He's good for 6-6.
Put him in next year at 6-6.
8-4 is where I would be. Like
100%.
once he gets the program organized the way he wants, and he gets the first influx of true talent going there, like I would expect 8-4 every year. And then if I get a special class or we hit the portal and have it, then I can have the 10-2, 11-1 season with an ACC title.
So on the note of recruiting, too, because I think this is a very interesting nugget, and this was a Penn State account put this out, so I don't know. I haven't gone and looked at the list of everybody, but there was a Penn State account that listed the decommits of 3 programs of 3 coaches after the firing of those coaches. Do you know how many players have decommitted from Florida after they fired Billy Napier?
I actually, I'm going to get this wrong, but they said this on the podcast.
Okay.
Is 0.
0. Yeah, 0
LSU,
players have decommitted. Brian Kelly got fired. You know how many at LSU?
1.
And this Penn State account, now I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but this is a Penn State account, said there's been 17 decommitments since they fired James Franklin. 17. And so I think it speaks to, this is the one cautious thing for Penn State firing him that we all kind of understood in the moment things had cratered, but it also, like, it takes a while to get there, and you're not in the biggest city, and you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And so there's a benefit of having a guy like James Franklin, who might not be the best tactician, but he is a very good recruiter, considering the circumstances. And so the other thing I'll add to this, like, I think all of your stuff on the ACC is spot on, and it's one of the reasons I like the hire. This is a great spot for him where there isn't an expectation at Virginia Tech to go win national championships every year. Like, just be in the mix, man. Win 8, 9, 10 games, and you're a hero there, because it's been a long time since Virginia Tech's program has been in that spot. They also, and maybe this just speaks to the era that we grew up in with college football, they're one of those teams for me that when they made this hire, I'm rooting like hell for this. One, I like James Franklin. He just seems like a genuinely good dude. And I want him to succeed there. I also want Virginia Tech to be good. I want meaningful games at Lane Stadium at night in Blacksburg with Enter Sandman playing, and Miami's in town, and it's a top 10 matchup. Like, I've seen Virginia Tech play for a national championship in my life. And some of those early 2000s, mid-2000s teams were so damn fun to watch, all the way through to Rod Taylor, who went to an Orange Bowl and they lost to Stanford. Like, this was an elite program on the East Coast
Virginia
for a long time,
and the district is a hotbed for high
Yes.
school football recruiting.
Yes.
So he will be
And you got the
able to,
fan support, you got the added financial backing, like all of this stuff is aligning for them. And you tell me they get back to being a team that hovers around the top 15, and I get a Saturday night game with Clemson going on the road, like, that's good for college football, and I want them to be good.
I agree 100%. I think that's been kind of the underrated, most depressing part, like, is the fact that how bad they've been, but also it's like, hey, here we go. Let's go to Virginia Tech Live, Enter Sandman.
And you're still jacked every time you see it.
I am, but I'm also like, they're going to lose by 30. So
yeah, I think they got Miami at home this weekend as their game, so I'm sure the place will be packed, and then they'll lay an egg.
Look, trolls are going to exist in social media. I just posted, grade the Virginia Tech hiring of Franklin A, B, C, or D. We have a vote for B and D. You guys are absolutely off your rockers. This was as good a hire as you could have had.
Yeah, you had 2 options here. You could hire a proven head coach, or you go roll the dice on a young up-and-coming coordinator, or a guy who's done it at a lower level, but there's no guarantee that guy does it. And I think this thought was, they just want to get back to being a respectable program that's competing week in and week out.
This guy was 16-24, Brent Pry there. Like, that is truly
bad.
Bottom barrel
James
stuff.
is only 53, so if he can get it rolling,
dinosaur,
he can be there 15 years.
Justin Fuente, by the way, not much. I mean, he was their coach before that. He took over in 2016.
Is that when Beamer retired?
When Beamer finally retired. He won 10 games with Beamer's roster. Then he went to 9 wins, 6 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, 3 wins, 7 wins, 6 wins, or some of those are Pry, but that's what they've done since they fired. They had 10-win season after firing Beamer, and they haven't sniffed a 10-win season since then.
Yeah, I mean, look, somebody, you never know, right? Like somebody could end up hiring the next Signetti, the guy who comes in and it's, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
If that happens, okay.
Tip of the cap to him.
Based on the knowledge and information we have, you're also rolling the dice on that next Signetti hire. And if it doesn't work, it's Billy Napier.
Yes, for every Signetti, there is a Billy Napier
So-
waiting
and
behind
if you're
another door.
Virginia
Yeah.
Tech and you find the next Signetti, he ain't staying at Virginia Tech.
Probably not.
Maybe, maybe not. But I think the overall point for me is like I think I would just want consistency and stability.
Yes.
And I just think that's what he gives you. And again, you may not beat Oklahoma in a non-conference tilt. Okay. How do you do in the ACC?
Florida State scaring you right now?
Nope.
Is Clemson scaring you right now?
Nope.
Miami lays an egg twice a year.
Belichick scaring you?
No.
Mario on the road scaring you?
No.
Enter Sandman. Mario pissed down his leg.
They would. Like Georgia Tech's a good story to your point. SMU's a good story. Like there's
Lashley
good
just got locked
underrated
up, right.
coaches
Yes.
in the ACC.
Those are good
There's no
coaches.
doubt. But they are not Ohio State. And the
No.
standard that he was held to at Penn State was go be better than Ohio State. You know how hard it is to be better than Ohio State? Not an easy thing to do, man.
I think you know that.
I know that firsthand. It was 34-0 in the first half. Not an easy team to beat. Good luck. Go be better than them. If that's the expectation, there's a lot of people that are going to fail at Penn State.
You're not wrong there.